Tonight on Connecticut's news station, we're learning new details about the sexual assault allegations involving a former police officer. We'll show you how the city's chief is responding tonight.
I was in my apartment and something just seemed weird.
Dozens without a home after flames break out at an apartment building just days before Thanksgiving. We are hearing from impacted residents.
Plus, improving infrastructure across Connecticut. A report tonight on how new federal funding looks to fix our railroads.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And good evening, and thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. New details tonight about sexual assault allegations involving a former New Haven police officer.
And now 41-year-old Jeremy Elliott of South Glastonbury took on many roles within the department, working closely with young children.
Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc digs into the document detailing the claims against him.
It's been 2 years since Officer Elliott has worked for the New Haven Police Department, but when he did, he was a supervisor for the Police Activity League, which works directly with children. It was in that role, the warrant alleges, he started a relationship with a minor.
We're taking every measure possible that this doesn't happen again.
In March of 2023, New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson and his investigators got a complaint from a victim dating back to a 2012 sexual relationship she allegedly had with former New Haven police officer Jeremy Elliott.
I was disappointed.
After an 8-month investigation, Elliott was arrested and charged with sexual assault. Now he's out on a $100,000 bond. This warrant detailing the allegations against him.
It's just not okay, period.
Officer Elliott was a school resource officer and a supervisor in a program called the Police Activity League, where police work with kids to connect with the community. The document alleges at the age of 32, he started a sexual relationship with one of the 16-year-old camp counselors. Documents detail a relationship where Elliott would pick the victim up at her house late at night, driving around to different places where they would engage in sexual acts in his car. Many times, the warrant claims he was in uniform, one time parked in a SWAT car at the police academy. The document says, quote, "This occurred approximately every other day, and the victim explained she had sexual intercourse with Elliott approximately 20 times inside and outside of PAL."
I just want to say that this incident, it's not about PAL or SROs, it's about Officer Elliott. It's his behavior that was wrong.
In the decade that's passed since this alleged relationship began, Chief Jacobson says the process to become a school resource officer or work with the Police Athletic League has become stricter for officers.
I want people to know that the selection process is harder. The overlook by the department of every program that's going on related to children is more thorough.
Now, Jacobson tells us Elliott was also disciplined in 2017 after an internal affairs investigation found he was engaging in inappropriate contact with at least one other minor. At that point, he was put on leave and then transitioned into different roles before leaving in 2021. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. An update now. A 19-year-old is dead after a shooting in New Haven. Police say Giovanni Ortiz was shot on Down Street just before 8:30 last night. He was taken to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds, but later died from his injuries. Fox 61 spoke with a witness whose car was damaged by the gunfire.
A police officer told me that my car was shot. There's a bullet in my car, my passenger side. Well, I just moved in. Here. It makes me think about probably not staying here too long because it's a bad neighborhood.
Police say a car took off from the scene after gunshots were heard. No word on any suspects or arrests. The investigation is ongoing.
And in Waterbury, an 18-year-old was killed in a shooting over the weekend. Police say Joseph Zavala was dropped off at St. Mary's Hospital Saturday. It's believed he was shot in the area of North Main and Kingsbury Streets. Zavala later died from his injuries, and the incident is still under investigation. Well, today marks the start of Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month. Local leaders joined family members of victims of homicide at the Capitol this morning, many holding photos of their loved ones who were lost to violence. This month aims to educate the public about the impact of homicide on families and communities, while also highlighting support available for those who've lost loved ones to violence.
No one understands the pain that we suffer each and every day.
The survivor's motto is, "You are not alone." And that's one of the key elements to recovering and to putting the pieces of our lives back together.
Survivors of Homicide Victims Awareness Month is part of the Connecticut General Assembly's newly enacted legislation to dedicate various days, weeks, and months to raising awareness for a variety of issues.
In Hartford, 52 people are without a home for the holidays. Tenants tell us this isn't the first time they've dealt with poor conditions in the building. Fox 61's Matt Karen talked to tenants who say something needs to be done about their living conditions.
37 adults and 15 children. That's how many people are being helped by the Red Cross tonight following a fire here on Willard Street at the Regency Place Apartments.
To tell you the truth, the building really needs to be shut down.
Sheena Bird told Fox 61 if it's not the rodents, cockroaches, or broken elevator, it's the faulty fire alarm. It nearly lulled tenants of the Regency Place Apartments into a false sense of security for the real emergency over the weekend.
They told me, "Oh, you got to evacuate because it's a fire." I evacuate. I lost my kitty. You know, I can't find him. And if anybody see a black cat, his name is Sparky, please can you return him to me?
In fact, as Fox 61 cameras rolled nearly 48 hours after the flames, fire crews responded, lights and sirens, yet again for a tripped alarm. Families once again forced to the curb.
They were afraid of us being electrocuted because the floor was saturated with water.
Boyd salvaged some belongings from her third-floor unit to take back to the hotel.
The Red Cross has been a big help. They put us up in a nice hotel or whatever, and they've been providing food.
While it doesn't look too bad from the outside, Saturday's fire caused extensive smoke and water damage inside. It's still not clear what started the blaze, but tenants say the owners have long neglected maintenance.
These owners who don't even live in the state of Connecticut and aren't familiar with the housing laws need to be held accountable. Hartford residents are at a disadvantage because economically they can't move, and so they're taken advantage of. And so fires like this are avoidable.
Fox 61 researched the property and found the owners are in New Jersey. Tenants say it's time the city start paying attention.
I just want to say to the city of Hartford, please, can you come out here and speak to the owner? This don't make sense for the way people have to live. We shouldn't have to live in condemned buildings that's catching fire.
We've reached out to both the company who owns the building and to Mayor Luke Bronin's office for comment on the concerns of tenants. So far, we have not received word back. Reporting in Hartford, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Time for a check of the weather now. A cold start to the week, and it's cold in the studio too. We could see some more rain in the coming days.
We may see a few flakes mixed in with the rain, but none here in the studio.
Okay.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frayne joining us now. This is going to be a rain event, though, not a snow event, right, Rach?
Correct. And we could get much, much worse, and some parts of the country will. There's severe weather in the south, and I think north of Connecticut, there will be a lot of snow, especially in the mountains of northern New England. But for us here, this is primarily a rain event, and it will get started right around this time tomorrow evening through about 10 p.m. That's the start time. Rain for most of the state, but you can see in this graphic here, there could be a brief mix or even snow for some of the higher elevations briefly before changing all over to rain everywhere. We're expecting a soaker, even though this is a quick hitting system, about 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, with the heaviest right around daybreak, which means the morning commute on Wednesday not looking so hot. It'll also be the strongest winds right around daybreak too. For most of the state, gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour, but there could be gusts 45 plus along the immediate shoreline, and there could be some minor coastal flooding there too. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the 30s across the state, and you can see the storm system heading our way, affecting so much real estate here as we head into a busy travel time. And again, it's getting closer to us as well. Overnight lows dipping back into the teens and 20s, so a cold start to the day, but some sunshine. Then we'll see increasing clouds before the rain develops. Your full forecast and looking ahead to Thanksgiving and the Manchester Road Race coming up.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Connecticut's getting nearly $2 billion in federal funding to fix aging railroad infrastructure.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst is with us now in studio with more. Emma, where's the money coming from?
Well, Brent, Sarah, these dollars were awarded to Connecticut through the federal bipartisan infrastructure law signed by President Biden 2 years ago. They will go toward 10 rail improvement projects across Connecticut, more than any other state receiving federal funding.
We've been trying to do this for decades, but only now do we finally have the opportunity to make these improvements.
The Northeast Corridor is the busiest rail line in the entire country. It's 457 miles, run through 8 states, and carry more than 750,000 people and 70 freight trains every day.
The section that we own here in Connecticut has over 200 bridges, including 5 movable bridges.
And state officials say many of those bridges are in desperate need of repairs.
This bridge is on virtual life support. It needs repairs right away, and it's outlived its safe and useful life.
Now, Connecticut is receiving $2 billion from the bipartisan infrastructure law to make these fixes.
That's going to help us address a huge backlog of projects. These are going to improve rail service, safety, reliability, operational flexibility, increase capacity, speed, and efficiency. 3
of the biggest projects are bridge replacements. The 116-year-old Connecticut River Bridge between Old Saybrook and Old Lyme serves the Northeast Corridor's main line, as well as Connecticut's Shoreline East commuter service and freight operators. The deteriorated Walk Bridge across the Norwalk River and the Devon Bridge, which serves as a critical transportation link between New York and Boston, carrying 6,300 passengers every day.
$2 billion is a lot of money, but the impact to people here in Connecticut is real. A lot more jobs, a lot more time with your family.
And this money will also go toward double tracking the Hartford line to increase capacity and making necessary power and signal improvements on the New Haven line, among other projects. Officials today tell me this isn't just funding upgrades and improving existing infrastructure, but is setting up for the future of rail in the region. Sarah, Brent.
All right, Emma.